Hello, welcome to the RC block. I'm Jamie Nitro. Today I'm going to talk to you about this model I'm building, which is a Morgan three-wheeler. I'm also going to give you a tip at the end of the video here to show you how to get this type of performance out of a 1/10 scale shock. So yeah, stay tuned and let's get into it. So what I've done here is I've built a Morgan three-wheeler chassis. This chassis is all handmade. Bent everything myself and welded everything together using steel rod, 3/16 and flat bar. Now this little guy here, he has a Sison FG15 VTS, which was purchased from sterlingkit.com. They have excellent selection of engines. Check them out, sterlingkit.com. They're awesome. And so because of them, I'm able to purchase an engine like this and make a model like this. I'm very grateful for that. Now this model here, I have dual coilovers on the front, and these aren't the shocks that I'm going to stick with. These are just here for time being, but I will be doing a coilover shock on the rear, something like this. I just gotta get time to do it. The headlights here are not going to be the headlights I'm using. They're just there for decoration, and same with the headers. Still gotta get these finished and run them down the end of the model like they're supposed to. The body on this is going to be made of wood. I'm going to do the whole thing so that I can just lift it on and off. It'll make it easier for maintaining the vehicle or having to get to something if I need to. Then on top of that, I plan on putting some metal wire spoked wheels on here. These are just for time being, just to, you know, get the dimensions of the model and continue building until I get all the parts and finish full assembly. So that is her. She's gonna have a 4-speed transmission with a triple clutch pressure plate design, all in one. Something I created myself. And on the next video that I do, I'm gonna make sure this is the transmission here. And then the next video, I'm gonna go through this transmission with you guys, show you what I did to make it, and I'm gonna take you along with my build, and we're gonna put this and install it into the Morgan here, and I'll show you guys how I'm gonna do it. So excited to do that video for you guys, and that'll be the next one. Now, as I promised, I wanted to talk to you guys about the shocks. So the shocks on this are a 1/10 scale shock. They're Pro line. They're originally designed for 1/10 scale RC crawler, but what I have done is I've changed them out a little bit to make them able to handle all this extra weight of the motor. As you can see, you got some good spring rate, sits where I want it to sit, and in order to do that, I had to find a different spring altogether that would work. This spring here is out of a BB gun, and it's got a much stronger compression rate. Now most RC shocks are a lot smaller and they don't have much spring rate at all, and in order to get to a shock with more spring rate, then you got to go to a bigger shock. And if you were to go with a bigger shock on something like that, that would kind of look funny because you got this big huge spring on a scale vehicle. So I don't want to do that. Now when you look at a spring, regular spring, very easy to compress. You know, this one has no spring rate, a little bit more on this one. But when it comes to this guy, this one I can't even compress. That's how much spring rate it has. So, and those are the same springs that I have on here, which is from a BB gun. Now, when you have that much extra spring rate, most of the shock oil isn't going to help you out much. So, one of the things that I did is I take this little piston, and this is on the inside of the shock, and it has tiny little holes there. Very hard to see, they're that small. But What I do is I take and I heat up a pin. So I'll take a pin and, you know, get it nice and glowing red hot. And basically, as soon as it's nice and hot, I'll take this pin, I'll put it through the hole without burning myself. And then what that'll do is that opens up the hole and gives you a larger diameter. Now I'll do this once or twice so I don't go too big, but as you can see, that hole is already probably twice the size, and that's just from a little heat. Now adding bigger holes in there allows you to go to a thicker shock weight oil. Now normally you got like a 0 to 100, and that's just not enough thickness in the oil to give you the dampening that you're going to want for the heavy vehicles. So by opening up the holes and then putting a thicker oil in, it gives you that dampening that you need so that your car will get some good dampening out of the suspension. Now one of the things I do is I'll take a 30 weight shock oil, then I'll add a few drops of 1,000 weight shock oil, and then the end result I'll get my own little bottle of oil that I can just use to fill up the shocks. So this oil is what I got left, but I gotta make some more. As you can see, it's a lot more thicker, but not super thick. Not as thick as like this diff oil, but not as thin as that. So, and that's basically what I've done. Put higher spring rate springs in there to handle the weight, and a thicker oil inside the shocks for better dampening. But you got to open up the holes on the shock piston. You do all of that, and then you'll have springs that can handle monster weight, 30 pounds, no problem, without having to go to like a 5th scale shock to get the same performance. So there you go. That's my little tip of the day on how I get the shocks to work the way I do. I hope you like my tips, and please subscribe and like my videos. It's the easiest way and free way to show your support for my videos and my channel. Thank you very much. Good luck on your next build. Bye for now.